If you guys enjoy what I do, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. It really helps the channel and it's free and easy to do. Before we get started with today's video, I have an announcement to make. After years of telling other people's stories, I finally released one of my own. My novel Eternal Reign is available now in both ebook and paperback format for those of you who are like me and prefer to collect physical media. You can grab a copy right now on Amazon through the link in the description of this video. And now back to our regularly scheduled program. It's a special day in Lumiere, but special doesn't always mean good, so Gustav is dragging his feet to get to what he needs to do. Considering the fact that he doesn't exactly have all the time in the world to waste, Myel tells him to hurry up and go give Sophie her flowers before the sun sets and he misses his chance. Even though he hasn't spoken to her in years, she's happy to see him and talk to him while they walk to the docks. The entire town is headed there waiting for the paintress to change her number on her monolith and start the gommage. At the moment the number is 34, but when she drops it by 1 like she does every year, every single person whose age matches that number will disintegrate, and there's nothing that anyone can do about it. Every year the people of Lumiere hold a festival to give the people who are dying their send-off and to celebrate with the people who are joining the next expedition to the main continent, where they would try to find a way to the paintress so they can kill her and put an end to the cycle. Each expedition is usually made up of people who only have 1 year left to live, and they spend their last days mapping out the continent and getting that info back to their people so the next expedition can get even further. Gustav and a lot of his friends are going, which is to be expected even though the number of people volunteering has dropped each year. But the one oddity is Myel. She's only 16 and is Gustav's ward, so he really doesn't want her to throw her life away like that. She doesn't really care all that much since he's pretty much the only person who cares about her at all. There's no talking her out of it, so after saying his goodbyes to his sister, who isn't exactly all that friendly or supportive of his decision to go on a suicide mission, Expedition 33 sets off to the main continent to hunt for the paintress. They make it to the main continent without any problems, but once they land, things get weird. They come face to face with a man who's way too old to be alive. The expedition's leader tries to talk to him and is killed so fast that no one has a chance to react. Then the monsters attack and people start to die. They have a place that they're all supposed to meet up at if they get separated, but the attack is so brutal that Gustav is knocked unconscious after seeing a lot of his friends die. When he wakes up, he's surprised that he's not dead, but there's no one alive around him, so he sets off to get to the rally point where he hopes to find someone else. The path isn't exactly clear and he has to fight some Nevrons, which are creatures made by the paintress, on his way. But when he's not being snuck in the dark, he can hold his own well enough. He knows that the others can fight just as well as he can, so they may have a chance to still be alive. That hope disappears when he sees that just about all of the people he came with have been stacked into a pile and are very much dead. The sight nearly makes him take himself out, but Lune, another member of his crew, survived and she stops him. The expedition had a motto: when one falls, we continue. That's easy to say until people start dying, and Gustav is having a really hard time moving forward. Lune manages to get him to stop moping for long enough to help her deal with a large Nevron that tries to kill them, which lets them test out the Lumina converter that Gustav made. Once it proves that it can absorb the essence of the Nevrons, she starts to feel a little bit more confident about their chances of stopping the paintress. Gustav is still moving on autopilot, but they do head off to the Indigo Tree rendezvous point. On the way there, they find the corpses of the members of Expedition 81 next to a weird Nevron that not only doesn't attack them, but it can talk, adding to the things that none of the people from Lumiere understand about the very strange world. Lucky for them, the other expeditions that came before kept everything that they learned in journals for their successors to find, so hopefully collecting all of their journals will shed a little bit of light on what's going on and will explain why the people who die on the main continent don't disappear when they're killed by Nevrons. They don't get any information out of the weird Nevron other than the fact that it was made by the paintress, so they move on. When they get to the rendezvous point, they find a survivor right before he gets murdered by a really big monster. Gustav and Lune take it down and climb to the top of the tree to wait for the others. Someone left a message saying that they took Myel to a place called the Weird Corals to the north. Gustav is excited since she was the main person that he was worried about, but Lune is a bit suspicious since the message wasn't signed, and if it was written by one of their people, they would have known to do that. Gustav doesn't care if it's a trap or not, especially since the guy who attacked them on the beach doesn't have to set traps since he can kill them with no effort if he finds them. He's going to go find Myel whether Lune comes or not, and since one of their rules is to never travel alone, she goes with him. While Gustav wants to make the trip as fast as possible, traveling at night is a good way to die, so the two of them decide to set up camp and get back to looking for Myel when the sun comes up. That little break gives them the time they need to think about the oddest part about the man that attacked them. He had to be in his 50s, which should be impossible, but somehow he survived the gommage. Between his insane power and the loss of their entire expedition in a matter of minutes, Gustav is ready to give up on the entire thing, find Myel, and go home. Not because he's scared for himself, but he's worried about Myel. The girl is practically his daughter, so Lune gets it, but no one forced her to come, and no one will be able to force her to leave either since she wants to stop the paintress too. Once she gets that through Gustav's head, the two of them call it a night and head to the reef early the next day. The place isn't all that hard to find, and neither is the hut that the message led them to. The place seems harmless enough, but when they open the door, they're sucked into a very large and extremely out-of-place mansion. Most of the doors are locked, but the two of them actually find Myel alive and unharmed. She's not sure how she got there. Everything is hazy after what happened on the beach, but she woke up in the manor with a weird faceless Nevron watching over her. He doesn't really talk all that much, so she doesn't know much about him, but the chroma around his body is a lot different from the Nevrons that Lune has seen before. He helped Myel, so that's all that matters to Gustav, and he doesn't try to stop them from leaving the manor. He even decides to start hanging out at the group's camp, just in case Myel needs him for something. That thing is not the only odd creature that Myel found during her time away from the expedition either. Noko, a gestural merchant, has been keeping her company, but the member of the very old living puppet race is odd, slightly stupid, and addicted to fighting, so he won't help Gustav or Lune until they prove that they know how to throw a punch. Lune has heard about the legendary creatures, and she's way more excited about meeting one of them than she's been about anything else, especially when she hears that there's a whole village of them not that far away. Granted, they have a mission, so they don't exactly have time for a detour. Fortunately for her, Noko points out that they don't have a clue about how to get across the sea that's between where they are and the paintress, but Golgra, the leader of their village, knows. He tells them how to get there, but he's not going to take them there since it'll be more fun watching them try to make it through the maze. So with a new objective in mind, the remaining members of Expedition 33 head to the gestural village to find a way to the paintress so they can hopefully keep anyone else from dying. And that's where we're going to stop for today. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it, comment, share it, and subscribe. Grab a copy of my novel on your way out, and I'll see you all next time.